What's up everybody, it's Jay the Doll Guy here. So if you're watching this video, there's a pretty good chance that you've been watching the Mindy project during your time in quarantine. And if you haven't,
So this isn't gonna work out.
you need to. Come on. So one day I was scrolling on Amazon buying things that I probably don't even need, and then what do I see? A Wrinkle in Time Mrs. Who Barbie signature doll. Now, as terrible it is to say, I've never seen A Wrinkle in Time.
What? Really?
That's probably going to be my next project. But I figured why not make Mrs. Who into Mindy Lahiri? Now first let me say this doll is absolutely gorgeous. Like, the attention to detail, the face mold, the outfit, everything. Like, I've never seen this movie. But again, this doll is very beautiful, and I highly recommend it to any doll collector, whether you've seen it or not. So my plan is to take her head off and put her on a curvy fashionista Barbie. So to remove her head, I'm just going to put her in a Ziploc bag and dip her in hot water. Now all minors out there, please be sure to have adult supervision when doing stuff like this. Just in case. You'll see why. I have band-aids later. Alright, so now her head should come off a little bit easier. Or not, because I guess I'm weak. So I'm going to put her head back in the hot water and just wait. And now her head should come off. Okay, there we go. So now I'm just going to take her hair out of the braids, and I'm just going to dip that in hot water a few times just so it'll be easier for me to style. But that's not going to happen because she has no hair in the middle.
I'm sorry. I'm a good-looking doctor.
So I guess I'm just gonna reroot. So here we go. Now to get the hair out, it's easier to use a pair of pliers. I know some people use tweezers, but in my experience it's been pretty difficult, so I just use pliers just to, save time and not stress myself out. Alrighty, and here we go. So now we have a very bald Mindy Lahiri, well, future Mindy Lahiri. So I thought about it, and I really want to keep this body. It's articulated, and I can't let that go to waste. I would hate myself for it later. So what I'm gonna do now is just use sandpaper to get the rest of the markings off of her arms. Alright, now we're back to rerooting the head. See what I tell you about that band-aid? Yep. Now because I didn't plan to reroot it all, I didn't have any hair available. Thankfully, I was able to find some that would ship overnight, and it was a pretty decent price. So the next day it showed up and came in some nice packaging with a nice little message. That's cool. This is like the first time I ever bought hair, so I'm just like, oh, cool. So now I'm just going to simply reroot the entire head, which took a long time considering I'm fairly new to it. And now we have this monster.
You're not Mindy, you're a warrior, and your warrior name is Beyonce Pad Thai.
And so now to flatten the hair, to make it more closer to the head, I'm going to put a wet rag around it. Make sure it's not soaking wet. I usually just make sure it's damp. And then I'm going to take an iron and I'm going to press it down. Now, I wouldn't leave it on there too long just because you don't want to melt the head or anything, but if you leave it on there for about a second or two, it should flatten it out fine. Now mind you, I did this several times just to make sure that it was as flat as can be. I know the first time it doesn't always lay as flat as you want it to be. And also to actually style the hair, this is a good way to make any parts that you want to do. So for example, Mindy has a, I'm going to use all the wrong terminology for this, so please bear with me. I'm not a hairstylist in any way, shape, or form. But she has a, I'm going to say section of hair that covers her forehead. And so I was able to make that by just moving the hair over, putting the rag over it, and then pressing it again with the heat. And now we have the body. I did use a little bit more than sandpaper. I actually used a Dremel to sand off the rest of it, and that just helps save a lot of time. So now we have a very nude Mindy Lahiri.
If it wasn't for him, I'd be covered in Simpsons tattoos.
And so again, I'm gonna forewarn you guys, I am not a hairstylist. I've never done this before, so I'm sorry. But it didn't turn out so bad in the end, but the method, if you are like a hairstylist or you're experienced with cutting hair and styling hair, this is probably very triggering or flat out annoying to those who are professionals, but here we go. So again, I'm going to take that part and I'm going to press it down with the iron again just to make it stay a little more. And here we are. We went from Mrs. Who to Dr. Mindy Lahiri. Now let's see if we can match her signature style using clothes that we already have. Let's see. Oh, and we can't forget our glasses. Okay, so if we take the Barbie BMR 1959 doll, neon overalls with puffer jacket, and number 133 from the Barbie Fashionista line, as well as Barbie Ken Career Dentist doll, we can actually recreate one of the promos from the Mindy project. And let's take 157 from the Barbie Fashionista line, as well as a Fresh Dolls fashion pack, and we can recreate this iconic Mindy look. And if we keep that same Fresh Dolls fashion pack, we can actually kind of create another scene. It's a little different, but it's still a good look.
I was saving that dress for the funeral of an enemy. That's who did this. Kelly Ripa. Kelly Ripa did it.
And there you have it, you guys. We made Dr. Mindy Lahiri. Thanks for watching.